Former President Donald Trump's hush money trial continued today.
At the trial, a judge held the former president in contempt for violating a gag order. Fox's Arthur Sheehan is live in New York with the latest. Arthur?
Courtney and Tom, that's certainly the big development here today. Before the trial began, the judge in this case put that gag order in place specifically to protect jurors and witnesses in this case. Well, last week, the prosecution rolled out 10 social media posts by Donald Trump that they said were in violation of the gag order, in particular attacking witnesses in this case. The judge rendering the decision today agreed with prosecutors in all but one of those cases, not just fining Donald Trump, but threatening to put him in jail if he does not start complying with that gag order. Donald Trump looked relaxed, giving reporters a fist pump even after being found in contempt for violating a gag order aimed at protecting witnesses and jurors in this case. In a written ruling handed down Tuesday, Judge Juan Merchan found Trump violated the order on 9 occasions with social media posts attacking witnesses in the case. Trump was fined $9,000 and ordered to remove the 9 social media posts. The judge also warned Trump could be jailed if he continues violating the gag order. Legal experts say the judge could have sent Trump to jail already, but is showing him leniency.
The rules of the road have been made very, very clear to defendant Trump that he's being treated, if anything, he's being treated in a way more favorably than other defendants may have been treated should they have engaged in the kind of conduct that he's behaved in.
Meanwhile, testimony resumed with witnesses. Prosecutors have called to detail how money was moved around to pay adult film actress Stormy Daniels $130,000. Trump is alleged to have made payments and covered them up for fear if the public found out it could damage his run for the presidency in 2016. As for the gag order violation, Trump removed the 9 posts by the deadline set for this afternoon. The ex-president has until Friday to pay the $9,000 fine, and he continues blasting the judge of his criminal trial.
The judge should be recused, and he should recuse himself today. It's the most recusable judge I've been. It's called recusal abuse, and he should recuse himself today. And maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll do the right thing. But really, more importantly than the recusal, he should terminate the case today. The judge should terminate the case because they have no case.
Well, obviously, prosecutors here disagree as they continue laying out their case. Now, Trump was handed another defeat. His lawyers had filed a request to delay this trial with a mid-appellate court, and that request was denied this afternoon. And another 4 social media posts, meanwhile, have also come forward after that first batch of 10. The judge said he'll hear arguments about it this coming Thursday, so that issue isn't quite over just yet. That's the latest from the criminal courthouse in Lower Manhattan here in New York. Arthur Sheehan, Fox 5 News. Tom, Courtney, back to you guys.
All right, Arthur, thanks for the latest.